It's been 5 years, nearly 2,000 images over 12 states, and only God knows how many miles on foot. And through it all, this camera has been by my side. The Mamiya 7 isn't perfect, but it's the one that I trust every single time I head out on another adventure. And if I had to shoot just one camera for the rest of my life, it's the one I'd grab.
All right.
Now, if you see my channel before, you know I shoot a lot of film, and
I've tried my fair share of cameras.
but no matter what I test or tinker with, I always come back to the Mamiya 7. So today, I want to talk about what it's like living with the Mamiya 7 for half a decade. Not just a review, more like a love letter, some real talk, and a look back at one of the most iconic cameras in medium format history. And maybe, just maybe, we'll answer that one question that everyone keeps asking. Is it worth the hype? Yeah.
I'm gonna have no light in here. Oh man, that was 1/4 of a second. We'll see if that turned out. I doubt it though.
Originally, the first time I used this beautiful camera was with my buddy Jason, and we swapped cameras for the evening. And to be honest, the photos from that shoot were, well, a massive dumpster fire. But even then I knew it was only a matter of time before I had one of my own. However, there was a massive problem staring me in my face: the price. So naturally, I did what every budget-conscious photographer would do when wanting a medium format rangefinder. Buy the GW690. That Fuji was great and all. Beautiful lens, beautiful negatives, but it was just a rangefinder style band-aid over my Mamiya aching heart. But eventually I did succumb to my 6-7 desires, and a year later scored a Mamiya 7 for my very own.
Nice. We are only a few hours in to our road trip here, and we've already stopped like 3 or 4 times, and we haven't even hit our first location.
The packaging was pristine, original and all, and it came with that very iconic 80mm lens. Until recently, the only lens I actually had glued to that camera.
Today we're going to be using my brand spanking new 50mm lens. Look at that gorgeous thing. Look at it.
That's right, dark slide. Now, the year was 1989, and I was birthed into this universe. And at the very same time, Mamiya Optical Corp decided to recapture the rangefinder market with their newly updated Mamiya 6. They also had another foldable Mamiya 6 that first launched the company into existence, but that's not the point of today's lesson. This newly designed Mamiya 6 paved the way for its successor, the mighty Mamiya 7 in 1995. The birth year of my brother, actually. You might say that the Mamiya blood is strong within our family.
I ain't gonna lie to you. 10 shots for me? Like that.
Now, unfortunately, like most dynasties, they don't always last. And Mamiya was fully acquired by the company Phase 1 in 2015. There you can see a little hint of Mamiya's past. However, the Mamiya still lives on in my own heart. And my hands.
Definitely like some sort of house.
Ooh, toilet. Yeah, baby, look at you.
That's insane. Yeah, we definitely don't want to go further in there because it might collapse on us. The floor is definitely not good, all wood.
Now, let's talk about why I love this camera so much, and why it's not just another tool, but my go-to. My default 6.7, my MFing ride or die. MF being for medium format.
Actually might like that one better. Frames the house better.
First off, let's just get this out of the way. It's honestly the sharpest camera and lens combo you will ever use. Between my friends and I, we all joke that the Mamiya lenses are actually too perfect, if that's even possible. That 80mm is ridiculous. Being a rough 40mm on a 35mm field of view is great for everyday photography. Wide inside, tight in the light. Now, it's not just sharp, it's forensic level detail sharp. Every time I think I've outgrown the hype, I just shoot another roll and get dumbstruck all over again. Sometimes I just look at my shots and I think, why do I shoot anything else? Really? There is no need.
I've definitely been noticing here in Texas is that there's a lot of like posted do not go in type signs. Like, yo, this is someone's private property, don't even think about it. And it's like, but dog, this has been abandoned for like 30,000 years.
And because it's a rangefinder, you don't have to deal with a mirror slapping you in the face every time you take a photo, or even deal with lens softness at slow shutter speeds. On my Pentax 6.7, I would never dream of shooting it handheld at 1/15 of a second. But in the past, I have successfully with this Mamiya 7. Honestly, the whole setup just delivers consistently. Second, and almost the most important, this thing travels like a slightly bigger 35mm camera. Usually when you think of 6.7, you think of a massive camera, bulky. But this puppy is deliciously small and lightweight. That's why it's always my go-to when I travel. It fits perfect in my brevity bag with extra room to spare. It's great for hikes, desert strolls, and even boat trips in the Pacific Ocean. Really, it's the only 6.7 I'd ever want to carry all day. I guess, or even could carry all day. I skip arm day a lot in the gym.
Night 2.
Now, one of the most magical parts of this camera is the shooting experience. Unlike other medium format cameras I own, or even others I've used, this camera just fits perfectly in your hand. I'm a big boy. I got big hands and big feet. That's besides the point. Cameras don't usually have a grip enough to house my pinky finger comfortably, let alone have a shutter button placement that is perfectly ergonomic for the shooting experience overall. Other cameras, sometimes you have to strain your index finger to shoot them. This one, no. Blissfully blast away that shutter. Also, the shutter sound is super quiet. It kind of disappears when you're using it, which is rare for medium format cameras. It doesn't get in your way, and because it's a rangefinder, that weight you might come to expect from a medium format camera just melts away. Peer through that bright frame-lined viewfinder. Honestly, that viewfinder is the thing that did it in for me. Aligning those ghost patches in the middle was so effortless. I couldn't know another way.
Guys, we've been driving for 3 minutes and we've already found something.
Using my Mamiya 7 is eventually why I ended up selling my Fuji GW690 in the first place. That rangefinder patch was just a better experience. Now, before we get back to waxing poetically about the Mamiya, I want to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, UsePhoto Pro, or UP as I like to call them. If you haven't heard of them, UP has one of the biggest selections of used camera gear in the country. We're talking everything from 35mm film cameras to glorious medium format legends, and yes, they have some Mamiya gear. I was digging around on their site recently and saw a full Mamiya 7 kit, looking real clean. I've also seen a lot of Mamiya 645s and RB67s. One thing I really love about UP is how serious they are with their grading process. The condition you see on their site is exactly what lands on your doorstep. No surprises, no mystery dents, just the gear you can trust. kind of like a certain 6.7 rangefinder I know. So if you're looking to fall in love with your next camera, or maybe to start your own Mamiya journey, check out Use Photo Pro for more. Now, let's get back to my Mamiya.
Jeez, it's insane.
Now, over the years, I've mostly just used the 80mm lens, but the glass across the board is insane. I actually have done a video testing all the different lenses for this Mamiya 7 system, so you can go check that out later. What I took away from that experience is that every single lens was great. Sick. Even the wide-angle lenses are tack sharp and almost no noticeable distortion. That's actually when I realized I needed to invest in some other Mamiya glass and add a bit of cayenne into my 6.7 soup. So like I said, I picked up a 50mm for that system as well. I thought having a 50mm with an 80mm was actually a great pairing. You have your wides and you have your tight. I think the next lens I might actually pick up is the 150, just to beef up my telephoto game.
There's definitely a lot here to explore. It's insane.
But more than anything, this camera is just reliable. Like, when I need a roll to count, this is what I grab. It's one of the easiest cameras to load, and when I'm traveling, it's the camera I reach for constantly. It just works.
Okay, so what just happened there was a owl that was in the ceiling, and that owl got scared. Totally, I did too. We were on the same page with that one. But then it was funny because like I saw it coming like, and then just like, and I was really worried to be pooped on. Okay, I'm done with that building.
Now, don't get me wrong, it's not a perfect camera. There's really no such thing. If there was, big tech would stop making money and the collapse of society would be imminent. But I'd probably be carried away by megapixel demons if I didn't talk about the real stuff, or the not so fun stuff. First off, the electronics. This is a battery-powered, electronically controlled camera. If the circuit board goes, or anything else, bye-bye. It's game over. And Mamiya isn't mama making anything no mo. So that's always in the back of my soft and mushy mind. Also, that means that you should always carry an extra battery with you, just in case. Another thing is that the max shutter speed is only 1/500. I mean, it is better than 1/400 like the RZ, but still, 1/1000 would have been nice. And really, it probably was standard in 1995.
I really love that door too.
Another thing that constantly gets me frustrated is the internal light meter. It's like a super spot meter. One moment you're overexposed and the next you're underexposed. And because these lenses are only in full stop increments, sometimes you feel like you might not have enough control over your exposure. I would also say that I rarely use it in auto mode because some light movements to the camera, you might just be 2 stops underexposed. The AEL function, however, is nice since you can lock your exposure when you're happy and then take your photo. Another thing that I guess could be considered a con for the system is that the wide and the tight lenses needs an external viewfinder for accurate framing since it's not an SLR. But for me, I've really never had an issue and it's just part of the workflow now. And last but not least, and you might have seen it coming, the price. These used to be expensive, but kind of reasonable. Now, they're definitely on the higher end of the price spectrum, especially the Mamiya 7 II. I get it, they're legendary, but I know kind of inaccessible to a lot of people, especially with rising film prices. All in all, you're probably sitting around a $3K plus price tag. Yeah, it's a little expensive.
Oh, this school bus back here, come on.
But the thing is, even with all of those little annoyances and frustrations, the pros far outweigh the cons for me. And even 5 years later, I still trust it more than anything else on my medium format shelf.
One thing Jason and I were just talking about how weird and eerie this place is, but also the wind isn't helping anything. Everything's creaking and moving and you hear it all. Yeah. That was a cool one for sure.
So here we are in 2025 and the Mamiya 7 has only gotten stronger. It's become a camera that people dream about once they get the medium format bug. Honestly, I didn't even expect that I could own this camera. I thought it was way out of my reach, but the right place, the right time, and the right price definitely helps. But beyond the hype, this camera actually earns its badass reputation. Just a beautiful, well-engineered camera that delivers insane quality in a light-ass package. I often think about what Mamiya could have been if they could have held on to this crazy camera market. I know earlier Phase 1 cameras are basically Mamiya 645s with a mustache, but that doesn't stop me from dreaming of the day that I might see a Mamiya 7 III. I've shot a lot of cameras over the years. Some I really dig, and some I kind of forget to pick up again. But the Mamiya 7 is the one I've never considered selling. Not even once. This camera I trust to get some fiery ass bangers. The one that I don't overthink with. And in some alternative universe, if I could only keep one camera and if everything else had to go, this would be the one I hold on to. No question. But let's not talk about my M6 right now. The Mamiya 7 isn't perfect, but anytime I'm on a road trip and somehow convince myself to bring another camera along, I always miss my Mamiya 7. But what can I say? I'm a bit sensitive, and God forbid if anything were to happen to it, without a doubt, I'd be buying another one right away, even if I had to sell some feet pics to front the bill. And I can safely say we can answer the question that everyone has. Is it worth the hype? And for me, yeah, 100%.
Noise.
Well, I think that's enough gushing for today. Let me know what your ultimate ride or die camera is below. Maybe it's not a Mamiya, but I'd love to know what you fell in love with. Unless it's a Pentax 645. No, none of those. They belong in the trash. How about you go out there and shoot something, why don't you? Okay. Bye! There's 2 fridges in here. Dude, we're living like kings. 2 fridges. What was it? F11 at a quarter power, so if I'm twice the distance of
Are you at 400 ISO?
I'm at 800, so then I can compensate, so I can be at 1/4. Sick. It went off.